Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today is a very special day. Today is July 1st, and I know you're thinking, why is that special? Let me tell you. Because today is my birthday. July 1st is my birthday. I'm super excited. And not only is today the start of birthday season, because we do this all month long, but it's the start of a new reading vlog because I have chosen someone near and dear to my heart to choose my TBR for July. I'm a little nervous because I don't know which direction they went in, but the person I have chosen to pick my TBR for this month is Ray from Bookmark Chronicles. I talk about Ray all the time, constantly. She is my Booktube bestie, and we do all of the things all the time. I absolutely love her. If you've never gone to Ray's channel, I don't know how long you've been around here and haven't been over there, but that sounds crazy to me. So go check her out. She is funny. She is no nonsense. She is going to give you a short video every time. And sometimes that's what you need. You need that short, quick, give me the information on a book video. I know what you're thinking. Fray's your book bestie. How come she hasn't done this before? Well, she kind of has. So way back before I did my very first reading vlog, which featured Steph over at Stephanie Bookish, I had Ray choose my TBR because I needed to test out this thing I had. And so she tested it, but I never gave her a dedicated video. And so here we are. I'm so excited. Also, I dyed my hair for my birthday. You can't really tell this light isn't doing it, but it's purple. It's really purple in the light. Got a little color, got a little cut. New year, new me. Before we get into the TBR that Ray has for me, I have packages. And these aren't just any packages. These are birthday packages from Ray. I have not looked in them. I did open them because I was not going to struggle with opening a package on camera. But I know that they're from Ray, and I'm excited to see what she got me. I wonder if she got me these and then chose them to be on the TBR. That would be kind of genius. She says, I almost bought you an Emily Henry book, but couldn't bring myself to do it. Instead, I got you one about a creepy child, because why not? And one that we can add to our never-ending list of buddy reads. Me and Ray do a buddy read every month, and we've been doing this since like January, maybe sooner. But she got me The Perfect Child by Lucinda Berry. I imagine it's about some kind of kid who might be a little violent. Maybe there's a little stabby. We love that. And on to the second book. Wishing my Booktube bestie the happiest of birthdays. I hope this month is filled with lots of books, love, and wine. And it absolutely will be because it's the birthday month. And she got me The Killing Moon by N.K. Jemisin. I read the Broken Earth trilogy, and I absolutely loved it. And I was like, I need more N.K. Jemisin. And so she got me this one. So thank you, Ray, for the gifts. And I hope I can say thank you to the TBR that you're about to choose for me. Okay, I've got the video right here. I'm so nervous.
Hi, Robin. So I know you're probably expecting that I am going to want some revenge and force you to read Tower of Dawn for convincing me to read Throne of Glass, among other things, but I'm actually not going to do that today. Don't worry, revenge will come, maybe 5 years from now, but at least not today. Instead, I have chosen 4 books that I am really just interested to see how you feel about them. So the first book that I picked for you is Babel by R.F. Kuang. I don't know how you're gonna feel about this one, but I do think that you're gonna like it. You tend to enjoy history, at least I hope so, since you've been reading biographies of dead white dudes. So I think you're gonna like the historical elements of this. I also just really need you to understand why one of these characters is gonna be on my next round of people that I wanna square up with, because I think you're gonna feel the same way. Plus, you've read everything else by Rebecca Kuang, so I think that you're gonna enjoy this one too. The next book that I chose for you is a romance, because you declared that I was a romance girly before I was willing to admit it, and it feels only right that I give you a romance. Now, this one is cute, I did enjoy it, but I think that you are going to have some frustrations with the main character in the same way that I had some frustrations with her, there were also some scenes that I felt were pretty cringy. So have fun. It is Girl Gone Viral by Alicia Rye. This is the second book in the Modern Love series, and I think you've read the first one. I hope you've read the first one. If not, it doesn't really matter. The third book that I'm going to pick for you is Black Girls Must Die Exhausted. You know that I DNF'd this book around 27% because I didn't like the characters and they were doing dumb shit, but that could be a fun time for you. So hopefully you enjoy this much more than I did and enough to continue the series. And the last book that I'm picking is one that is pure fucking chaos, and that is pretty much the reason that I enjoyed it. Plus, you bought this book because of me, Upon a Burning Throne. So I hope you have fun with all of these. I'm being nice to you this time, but next time it'll probably be a different story.
Okay. Wow, let's go get these books and then we'll talk. As you may have noticed in Ray's picks, there were no prompts, and that's because I didn't give Ray any prompts. I gave her complete and total reign of my TBR. And so this could have been terrible. She could have chosen Tower of Dawn, like she said, because I'm still debating. I'm on the fence, guys. I really don't want to read about Kale. I don't know. Jury's out on that one. But this is still a stack. We got some thick boys in here. And during my birthday month, Ray, when am I going to sit down and read these? When am I going to have the time? I'm going to be ripping and running. It's social season. So the first book that she chose for me was Babel. And I have read everything else by R. Kwong except for Babel. I don't know how I went from the Poppy War to Yellowface and then I just skipped over Babel entirely, but I did. I knew I was going to get to it one day. It's so big and like it intimidates me in a way because I'm just like, I don't know, like they talk about the languages and the magic system and I'm just like, does this brain work? Will it work for this? But Ray is right. I do enjoy history because I am reading books about old dudes because I'm still working my way through presidential biographies. So she was not wrong. And so, but I'm excited. I just finished Yellowface not too long ago, about a month ago, and I loved it so much. And I know that they're completely different. Yellowface was contemporary, and then this is like a fantasy historical thing. But I'm excited for this for another reason because I know that the main character's name is Robin, and I'm a Robin, and like it's the Robin connection. So I'm hoping that I love it. And I think I know the character that I'm supposed to hate, but I'm not entirely sure. So I'm excited to see if I'm going to hate them as well. And then Ray chose a romance because she is a romance girly now. And she chose Girl Gone Viral by Alicia Rye. I did read The Right Swipe and it was okay. Like, I enjoyed it for what it was. It was a romance. Can I tell you much about it? No, but that's not the point. That's not what we're here for today. Today we're talking about Girl Gone Viral. I don't know what this is about at all. I guess a girl, she goes viral. For what? I don't know. I wonder if it's some similar to the Boyfriend Project where the three main girls in the beginning of that went viral for dating the same guy unknowingly. There's two people. They go viral for some reason. I don't know what that reason is. We're gonna find out together. The third book that she picked for me was Black Girls Must Die Exhausted. Ray actually gifted me this set. She had it and she didn't get very far in the first book before she DNF'd. And so then I was like, you know what, I'll take it because I was interested in the series. And so I am curious to know if I'm going to like it. I know that this is about a woman, I think she's in her 30s, trying to like figure some shit out. I think that she's dealing with some issues about like getting married and having kids and like career stuff. That's something that kind of resonates with me as someone in my 30s who's trying to figure out like what life that's what we're figuring out. Ray has a low tolerance for like nonsense. Me, my tolerance for nonsense, super high. Super high. Not in real life, only in fiction. Because in real life, my tolerance for nonsense, super low. Not with the shits. I'm probably going to make it further than Ray did. But will I DNF? Will I go through with the whole thing? Will I read the entire series? Not this month, but like in life. The last book that she chose for me was Upon a Burning Throne. I don't know shit about this book, but I do know that Ray hyped it up and loved it so much that I was like, Ray loves it, I'm gonna love it. Okay, and so these are the books we're reading for July. On top of a buddy read that Ray and I are doing, let me check my handy dandy list that Ray has been keeping for us. She's been keeping track of our buddy reads. So yes, we are reading Family Lore by Elizabeth Acevedo. We both have an arc of it, and I'm super excited because I love Elizabeth Acevedo's writing, and I think that this is her first adult fiction work, so we shall see how this goes. I do have things happening today because it's my birthday. I'm going to dinner later, but until then, I'm doing a whole lot of nothing. And so I feel like I should get started on one of these books. Which one? I don't know. Like, am I in the mood for something light? I can pick up a romance. Am I ready to just dive headfirst into Babel? I'm not sure. I think I need to build my way up to that. Do I start off with Black Girls Must Die Exhausted? I don't know. I don't think I want to start like contemplating like life yet. But yeah, you get to come with me all month as we celebrate, as I read these books, and let's get into it. On the way to dinner, apparently I have to be blindfolded. You're fine. Not see anything? I can't see anything. How many fingers am I holding up? 7. Okay, close.
Happy birthday to you.
Of a week since like my birthday. I've been in and out doing things. I've been celebrating other people's birthdays, and here I am now coming at you with an update. I am halfway through Black Girls Must Die Exhausted by Jane Allen. I have thoughts. So this is about Tabitha, who is 33. She goes to what she thinks is a routine, regular doctor's appointment, and she is told by her doctor that her fertility options are dwindling quickly. And by quickly, I mean like in the next 6 months. Like, homegirl is about to run out of eggs and she can't get any more. And if she wants to start a biological family, then she needs to make some decisions quickly about what she wants to do with her eggs. Is she gonna try to have a baby now? Is she gonna try to freeze her eggs? She's just gonna be like, fuck it and see what happens. She's trying to make sure that her career is stable and she gets to a position where she wants to be at. She's trying to make sure that she has money to get a down payment on a house, because isn't that isn't that the dream, to buy a house? She wants to make sure that she's in a stable relationship and that she has children with someone that she likes and feels like would be a good parent to her child. And so she wants to get married to that person. But, you know, dating takes time. And so she's going through all of this and she's not sure what to do. She has a boyfriend. I use the term boyfriend loosely because she says the boyfriend, I think, is just somebody she was hanging out with. It's giving very much situationship, and this bothers me actually. But she tells her boyfriend, hey, you know, I've got this going on and I'm not trying to force you to be in a relationship with me so that we can have a child. But then she does certain things that I was just like, you're taking his choice away from him. Then she also gets mad when he tells her very plainly, hey, I'm actually not sure if I want children or if I want to be married at all. She gets very upset. She's like, I wasted all my time. And I would almost agree with her if this had been someone I thought she had been in a serious relationship with. But she wasn't. These people were dating. They saw each other like, they've been dating for a year and a half. They've been seeing each other like once a week, on the weekends maybe. And during the week, their communication is very minimal. Like maybe a text, maybe a phone call. Doesn't sound like someone I would be knowing very well. Nothing in this book suggests that she knows who he is deep down in his core. She just knows that he checks off some great boxes. He has a good job. He seems pretty stable. He makes good money. He's tall. I've been told that multiple times. He's tall and attractive. But none of those things tell me, like, is he a good person? Does he seem like someone who you would want to have children with? Would he make a good dad? He looks good on paper. But I was just also like, he told you what's up, which is great because now it gives you the chance to go and find somebody else that's interested in the things that you want. Now, if he had strung her along and said like, you know what, we can do this together, and then was just like, actually, I don't want any kids, then I would be like, he's trash. So you have that happening. Then you have Tabitha trying to make it to the top of her job. And she's trying to get a promotion to senior reporter because it comes with a little bit more stability for her. It makes sure that her schedule is a little more concrete. It gives her a pay raise, which now she's gonna need because she's gonna have to pay for freezing her eggs, which is expensive. So she's just like worried, like, am I gonna get this promotion? Or is this guy who out talks her in every meeting, takes all of the assignments that she wants, and just really just a douchebag, is he going to get it? She's got a weird relationship with her father who, because he cheated on her mother and kind of started a new family of sorts. And so she's not really close with her siblings, but she would like to be. She's very close with her grandmother Tab, who she is named after. And they have a really great relationship, even though her grandmother is white and can't always relate to some of the issues that Tabitha goes through. You get to see Tabitha have this wonderful relationship with her grandmother while she has not so great relationships with her parents, her dad and her mom, because her mom lives like on the other side of the country. She's always badgering her about like, when are you gonna have kids? When are you gonna settle down? That becomes a point of contention as well during this whole process of trying to decide what to do about her fertility issues. Tabitha also has two best friends, Layla and, ooh girl, I don't remember the other one's name, Alexis. Layla and Alexis also have their own shit happening because Layla is in a relationship that she knows she has no business being in, and Alexis is in a relationship that kind of feels a little unfulfilling. Who knows? So yeah, that's where I am. I'm at the middle. I'm not really enjoying anybody except for Granny Tab. If anything happens to this lady, I promise you, everybody is gonna get it because this lady is an angel. She is a saint and I love her. If I had to rate it right now, it would be a 3 for sure. This is going by really fast. I feel like I can finish this pretty soon. So update you later.
Editing Robin here. I know you're probably thinking, how did Babel go? That's what you started with, right? And yes, that is what I started with. Now, what happened to all of the footage of Babel? Your guess. is as good as mine because, I don't know, just poof, disappeared. But let me tell you, I DNF'd it. I just was not connecting with any of the characters. I thought the plot was dragging on a little too long. It was a little too slow for my liking. I just was not having a good time, and I tried. I really, really tried. I wanted to push through because I know that a lot of my friends love it, and Ray loved it, and I did not want to fail on the first book for Ray's pick. But I did. She encouraged me, bullied me maybe, to go ahead and DNF, and I did. I just wished that I had had a better time. Robin felt like he wasn't even a main character in his own book, and he was like the only person with a point of view, and I was just like, I'm bored. And the other two characters that seemed more interesting to me, I don't remember their names, but they were in Robin's cohort. They were a guy and a girl. We didn't really get a whole lot of FaceTime with them, and I think they would have made for a more interesting story almost. Ray and Steph did tell me what happened in Babel, so I'm all caught up. It's almost like I read it myself. And I do understand who the character is that she wants to fight, because I wanted to fight this character the first time she was on the page. It was Letty, and I don't understand like how anyone could root for Letty. She's insufferable, and I didn't even make it to the end when like stuff really pops off. That's the Babel update. I know I haven't been here a lot, but I told you I was going to be busy. July is there's a lot going on this month. And I don't know if you've seen any clips yet. I don't know. We're still doing this. But I have a special guest. Hey, hi, hello. It's Jess.
Me, Mario. That's not my name. That's not my name.
That's not my name. That's not my name.
Let me see. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Well, I want everybody to see my shorts. Aren't
Okay.
these fun?
These are her shorts.
Okay, that's it.
That's the OOT day. Preparing myself for Alabama Rush. But we've had a whirlwind of 2 days.
This is day 3.
This is day 3.
Weird, tired.
We went to a museum. We've gone out to eat. We've seen the sights.
There's been a lot of margaritas.
One margarita.
One picture.
Oh, yeah, we did have a picture. But
moving on.
today we are going to go hit up some local bookstores in and around me-ish. We're gonna go buy some books. I was using this opportunity to wait to buy my birthday books, so
I'm ready to spend some money.
and I think I just got paid today, so you know,
Me
like,
too. I got that direct deposit notification.
this has turned into a musical. Anyways, I'm gonna take you guys along with us as we go look at some books, buy some books, go see some more sites. Maybe not like, you know, regular sites, just the streets and the bookstores. But we must eat first.
I'm out of town, fucking with my round. That's all. I'm gonna keep it PG for the channel.
Oh, this is not a PG. This is not a family.
My coochie pink, my booty hole brown. All right,
pick a book for her to read from this group of 3, and she chooses 3 books that I gave her. And so now I have to go and read some of these. Look at me reading a synopsis and some pages. Wow. So I'm going to choose one for her to read, and then later on I will surprise her and tell her which one I got for her.
Okay, so we went to the bookstore yesterday. I don't remember. Whatever. We went to the bookstore on a day. Lost City Books. And from there, we both picked 3 books. And the other person had to choose one of those books to get for the other person to read.
Yeah.
Did that make sense?
Yes. Did I interpret it? Is that in the beginning? No, but it doesn't matter. That's what happened. I misinterpreted.
What was your interpretation?
I thought it was we were picking 3 books, and then you were gonna say, "Oh, I haven't read any of those," and I would randomly choose one for you. Does that make sense? Yours made more sense. It doesn't matter. So I bought a book for her to read,
and I bought a book for Jess to read.
Let's not think about the rules of the prerequisites for this too hard.
Okay. Do you want me to go first, or do you want to?
I want to go first. Are you sure you don't have any idea what this is?
I am 1,000. See, had this been yesterday when we did this, maybe. But I can't remember what I wore yesterday, so I don't even know what was in that stack.
So this, okay. I wonder if anyone wants to guess.
Okay, wait. Let me guess a genre.
Look at the height. Look at the.
Not the height.
Look at the
It
thickness.
looks like a textbook.
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. What genre do you think this is?
I think it might be. I feel like I gave you sci-fi and a horror and a. I don't even know what the third book was, to be honest.
To be honest, I don't even really know the genre of this.
Okay, that's fine.
So, what do you want to open it? Do you want me to open it for you? How do you want to?
Okay.
Or do we want to do it at the same time?
Okay, we'll do it at the same time. Hold on. I just took out the book that I bought for myself, which is Disturbance, and it's about a woman who like starts getting into the occult. I think she starts bringing up some spells, but that's not what we're here for. We're here to exchange. What is wrong?
Okay.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Yes! 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 Yes!
I saw it and I was just like, I feel like not that you would.
Once you the title is Murder Your Employer. So wow.
Not that you would.
I would never. No one's worth prison. But I misinterpreted how we were doing this. Is someone worth prison?
Anywho.
I was like, oh, I hope that I'm going to choose this one for you. And then you could tell me if it was good. But then once you said what it was, I was like, I hope she picks this one. So I had never heard, we were going for books that we have no idea about.
Which honestly isn't very hard for me because I don't read a synopsis.
And I had never heard of this one. But yeah, it's called Murder Your Employer. McMaster's Guide to Homicide.
It's a volume 1.
Oh snap. Well, at least it's volume 1 and not volume 2. Because I did not pay attention to that. It's in the middle of the book. I did not pay attention to that. But look at the size. We love this, not super long. How long is this? About 400 pages. We love a map. But yeah, this is about a school that teaches you murder. Well, at the McMaster's Conservatory, future Deletus learn the consummate execution of the homicidal arts. Now this better be good, cause that's a good premise. And I read that one, and I was like,
The Perdido Street Station. I cannot read. Thank you.
Is it China?
China?
Mievel? I haven't read anything by them, but I've heard of them before.
I know nothing about this. I know it's a sci-fi.
Okay. It sounds kind of horror-y.
Yes, it sounds like there's, let me just read the back to
Beast.
y'all because
Maybe some deep demonic things.
there's things under the sewer system, and like they've been there for 1,000 years. They coming up,
Ooh.
and now the city is gripped by an alien terror. The fate of millions lies with a clutch of renegades. I love a renegade. It is too late to escape.
You say
Like
you were wanting
Earth.
to get in your sci-fi bag.
I
And here
did.
it is.
Oh wow, this is big.
But look at the, don't think about that. Just look at the floppy. Look, flop it for the people. That's not how you flop it. There.
I had to get it to a good.
That's not, that's not how you flop it
no.
for the people. Oh, there you go. That's a
I'm
proper
sorry,
flop.
that content will be on a different channel.
You gotta slow it down. Oh, the flop.
That's a paid channel.
Yeah! Yay! Book choosing, book swap,
Book picking?
book picking.
Thumbnail.
That was great.
That was good. Okay, this was good. I'm excited.
Yay!
Hello, I'm back again. Jess left me this morning. I'm so sad. How could she leave me? Why would she do this to me? But we had a great time. I'm sure you saw clips of going to bookstores, of just eating some good food, having a good time together. I'm so glad that she came, and I need her back immediately. So Jess, if you're watching, I need you to talk to your husband about you guys moving here. I don't really care how you get it done, but like, you know, you need to get it done. Blair misses you. And I would like to have time with my nephew. Yeah, we had a really good time. Bought some books. I also have another update because I finished Black Girls Must Die Exhausted, and it was a book I read. I think I'm giving this 3.25 stars. The 2.5 is because I am interested to see what happens in the second book, but not really. There's just one thing that happens at the very, very end where I'm like, I need some more information. And so I will probably read the beginning of the next book, and then after that, call it quits. I didn't enjoy any of the characters in this except for Granny Tab. But I think some of the decisions that the women in this book make are just not the best, especially Tabitha. I think that she doesn't always think through her feelings and decisions, and she just goes with like the first available feeling, which is fine. And that in a very first moment, it's fine to go with that, but sometimes you need to just reevaluate and be like, was this the correct reaction I should have had? Which, yes, but like, is there a different perspective to what is going on? Also, probably yes. I also felt like we just tried to cram in a lot of stuff in this book. We're talking about her infertility issues. We're talking about her relationship with her mother and her father, what it's like to be a Black woman competing against other white coworkers in a journalism newsroom atmosphere. We're talking about women's rights in the workplace. We're talking about police brutality against Black and brown people. The title is correct because Black Girls Must Die Exhausted, and I was exhausted because we talk about all of these things, which I don't necessarily think that all of the things meshed together well. I feel like maybe some of them could have been saved for a second or third book. There are second and third books, and I don't know if we touch on them, but maybe we could have spread them out and not have had them all in this one. And like I said, I'm going to continue on with the second book because I am curious to know how information that was presented to us at the end of this book will show up in the second book, because I need some answers. You're not just going to drop a bomb like this at the end of this book and then not give me a conclusion to it in the second book. You're just not. I mean, maybe she is, and then I'm going to be mad, but I will find out at some point. I started reading Family Lore, which is the buddy read that I have with Ray, and so I'm having a good time so far. I'm only like 10% in, so not very far, but so far it's giving me the Inheritance of Orcadia Divina vibes, where we've got a little bit of magical realism, we've got some multi-generational drama happening. There's this woman, I think her name is Flor. She's a seer in her family, and she can see people's deaths. I'm not sure if she has seen her own, but she has decided that she wants to have a living wake, which I'm not mad at it. Let people give you the flowers while you can still smell them? You know what I mean? So she's like, I'm gonna have this living wake, and she's calling all of her family in, and like she's planning it, and her family is just like, what is happening? Why are we doing this? Is she dying? Which, like, good question. I hope to get a huge chunk of that read this week, or if not all of it. And that is my update for now. I started reading family lore. You have the main woman, Flor. She has 3 sisters. She has a daughter and a niece. And they're all kind of like, why is she throwing a wake for herself? Is she dying? And Flor's not saying anything to anyone. And then you have her sisters, who are all kind of going through something different in their lives. Mathilde has a husband who's not the best, and Pastora and Flor, they're the closest of the siblings. And you have Camila. She's the forgotten sister because she's not mentioned very often, and quite honestly, I have forgotten that she was a sister. You have Una. She is an anthropologist, and she's taking this opportunity to interview everyone in her family and understand their history and their relationships with each other, as an anthropologist would about other societies and cultures, but here she's focusing on her own. And she's learning a lot about the family and the family dynamics, what circumstances have caused them to make certain life choices and have the personalities that they have, right? I think it's very interesting to see how all of the sisters are very different, how Una is very different than her mother, and how she kind of views her mother and what she's done, and kind of like, well, I wouldn't have done this as a mom. It kind of reminds me of Joy Luck Club, like how you had the generation of mothers and they were very different than the generation of their daughters, but like that's because each generation didn't really understand the other fully. And that's kind of what I'm getting from this. I'm very curious to see how this wake comes together, and if it brings the family together, or if it kind of creates more of a wedge and a fracturing between some of the already fragile relationships that there are. And then I started listening to Upon a Burning Throne. I don't know if that was a smart choice for me, because there are a lot of point of views, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I think when you're jumping into a new world and you're trying to immerse yourself in it, but then you have all of these different POVs, it can be a little confusing when you're listening to it. So I'm about 40-ish% of the way in. What we have is the Burnt Empire, which are run by the Crucians. They have this kind of ritual that when a royal baby is born, they have to see if they will get to sit on the burning throne. They have to stand a test, and if they pass it, then they have the potential to be the next king or queen of this empire. There are 2 cousins, and they withstand the test easy peasy. And then there's a 3rd contender, and that is the daughter of like an outcasted Crucian. Is he like a demon? Either way, Jarshin. That's the demon dude name, and they deny his daughter the right to potentially ascend to the throne. And Jarson takes this personally, which, I mean, maybe he should. He takes this personally, and he's like, I'm gonna start an all-out war with the Burnt Empire, and I'm gonna get everybody who hates this empire on my side, and we're gonna bring this bitch down, because you're not gonna deny my daughter. And that's really all I want to say about that. Also, it's not a linear timeline, so we don't start from the beginning at the birth of these children and we just like the war, and we jump forward, we jump backwards in time. I'm waiting for there to come a point when all of the storylines converge and we're like heading forward in a direction and towards something. So right now, Jarshin is fighting with the Burnt Empire, and the 2 princes, Audrey and Shvait, they are just trying to defeat him at different points in their lives. Both of them were kind of abandoned by their mothers in different ways. And I don't know if it was because of the way that they came to be. Shvait is albino, so like he's always shrouded, but he can go out and be and about, play. learns how to fight. Audrey is born blind, so he is more sheltered and cocooned because people are afraid that he will hurt himself because he can't see. And then you have like these other kind of side characters. You have Jelana, who's their grandmother, and is, you know, trying to make sure that those two grow up in a way that they can be successful kings. You have a host of other women that either become part of Shvete or Audrey's family, and they have their own backstories. They come to the situation not just like, oh wow, look, I have the potential to be royal, but like they've got some baggage happening, some secrets, and there's just a lot happening. There's a lot of mess, and I'm enjoying it. That's where we are with my reading. I'm having a good time so far. I have a feeling that this is going to spill over. It's July 27th, and I still have 3 things that I need to finish or start. Let's talk about why that is. So first, on my Kindle, I don't know why I held this up like you guys could see, but I have family lore on here. It's going a little slower than I would like. I think I'm at like 70% at this point, and I feel like I'm still not sure exactly what the point is. I know that we're learning about these women's lives and how they interact as sisters and as women, and the powers that they have, not just like magical powers, but like the power of women, you know? I'm still riding on a Barbie high. And so like, cool, but what is this all leading up to? Like, I feel like we've been leading up to this week for ever. I don't know, but that's where we are with family lore so far. And then I am about also 70% of the way into A Burning Throne. So much has been happening, and I will say that what I like about this is when there are action scenes, it is actiony, it is fast paced, you are in it, it is very like visceral, you know, it's almost like you're on the battlefield. You can hear when people are like getting stabbed, and just hear the knife go through them and the blood spring up. Sorry, that was a lot. But that's how you feel when those scenes are happening. And then the relationships between all of the characters is very messy. Like the family tree, I feel like in the beginning of this, they have like who each person is, and their relationship to the burnt empire. But what I really need is a family tree, because it'll be like, this person is a god and he created my son, but he's also my son's cousin's brother, uncle, sister, friend. Like, it's a whole lot. Again, having a good time with this, it's just taking longer than I anticipated. And then I have the last book that Ray chose for me, which was Girl Gone Viral. I haven't even touched this. This is the first time I've touched it since the beginning, when I filmed that first clip, that intro clip. So not super long, and romances typically go by really fast. I'm pretty sure I could find the audio if I needed to, but like, again, I've got these other 2 going and 4 days to get it all done. But hopefully I will get it done. I have no choice. I mean, I do have a choice. I could just extend this into August, but I don't want to. And that's the choice that I have. So let's stop the chitter chattering and let's get into some reading. Finished Family Lore. I don't know why I keep holding this up like this is the actual book, but I finished Family Lore, and I finished Upon a Burning Throne. One was left on an interesting cliffhanger, and the other was a little underwhelming. Can you guess which one is which? I finished Upon a Burning Throne, and I think my overall rating for this is going to be a 4.25.
While I think it was very fast paced for the most part, and it was entertaining and engaging and full of adventure and just like amazing action scenes, I think it got a little lost in all of the familial drama. It was everyone against Jarshin. That's what it came down to. But also it was like, who is, especially towards the end, like who's fathering who? And then things jumped from scene to scene so quickly, like it almost gave you whiplash. And you were just like, we were just here, now we're here. But the way that it ended was really interesting. And it set up book 2 to be like, what is, like, if we don't start off action-packed answering questions, I'm gonna be upset. Is somebody really dead? Because it feels like they're pretty dead, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are dead. Also, like, there's betrayal and backstabbing happening, and there's just people who are in power, but like maybe they don't want to be in power, or they don't deserve to be in power. And I can see that there is about to be infighting in the clan because people are trying to ascend to power in very mischievous ways. And then there are like other people who just want to do what's right. I'm curious. Started off with 2 cousins who were going to have the potential to ascend to the throne and be king of the burnt empire, and that was what they grew up to be and lived for. And then along the way they kind of lost their way a little bit. Also, there is still the girl from the prologue. And does Jarshin's beef with the rest of the Crucian family, like, does that ever go away? Is he always going to be coming after them? I kind of hope so, because Jarshin is a badass villain and I love it. So I definitely will be reading the next one. I don't know when because it was so long, and just, I don't even have the second one, which is surprising for me, but we shall see when I get to it. And then family lore. I am giving this a 3. I have to say I'm actually very disappointed that this wasn't higher rated for me, because I love Elizabeth Acevedo and I really wanted to love her first foray into adult works, but it didn't land for me. You know, we have Flor, who is going through and deciding to have a living wake for herself, which again I still agree with. I kind of almost want to do it for myself. Then you have all of these different women in the family and issues that they face, and it's a very, again, a generational story where you have the matriarch of the family, mama, and she's very old school in her ways, very old school thinking, and wanting her daughters to find husbands that are going to take care of them, and then no questions asked. And then you have the middle generation of the family, the sisters, and they are trying to change some of what their mother has taught them because they want better lives for themselves and for their daughters. But some of them aren't able to, some of them are. Some are happier with their lives, the way their lives turned out, and some are not because they're just living, coasting in a way. And then you have the younger generation, the cousins, and they are also just trying to figure out life, right? Like, what does it mean to be a powerful, independent, badass woman, and how to handle that on your culture and your family say, like, you shouldn't want certain things or you shouldn't be a certain way. The bones, interesting. But once we start to add all the meat and stuff, I don't think the execution was as great as it could have been. And that makes me sad. It's not going to stop me from reading any more of her works, YA or adult. I still really enjoy her stuff, but this just wasn't a hit for me. 3-star, that's where we are. This is a great angle of me, by the way. I'm not feeling the best today, but I think I have enough energy in me to like lay down and read, or at least listen to something. But we are in the home stretch. We have one last book, and that is Girl Gone Viral. It is Ray's last pick for me, and I think she chose this because she was just curious about, because I read the first book, The Right Swipe, so she was just curious to see like if I would be annoyed with some of the same things that she was annoyed with. So I'm curious to like talk to her about it and see what she did or didn't like about it. But I'm about 30% of the way into it, and so far we have Katrina and Jazz. Jazz is Katrina's bodyguard, and Katrina works, I forget the Rhiannon from the first book runs an app company, the Right Swipe or something. I think that was the name of the app. But she runs an app company. Katrina's kind of like one of the financial backers of the app. She's an anonymous backer because something in her past has made her that she wants to remain like very reclusive and just out of the public eye. And that all comes to a head one day when she is at a coffee shop and she runs into some guy who she just thinks is cute. They have a really cute moment at the coffee shop. Someone, unbeknownst to Katrina, is live tweeting the interaction between the two, and I think even takes a picture of her from the side. Like, unless you like know her very, very well, I don't think like you would be able to tell from the way it's written in the book that it is Katrina. But she starts to panic and get overwhelmed that someone is going to recognize her and that she is going to have another incident like she did in the past where she was kidnapped. And so she is like worried that someone's going to know her identity, that people are going to start coming after her, going to start trying to like contact her, including her dad, which she has an estranged relationship with for reasons I'm not sure of yet. I'm not sure if we'll get those reasons. I kind of wish I knew what happened, because I think it would give the her paranoia a little bit more weight, because right now it just seems like, girl, what? It's a sliver of your face in a baseball hat in your hair. Like, you could literally be anyone. She also just suffers from having panic attacks, and so she's always worried that she'll be out in public and it'll just happen to her. So she just wants to get away, and Jazz is like, you know what? I have the perfect place. I have a farm that my grandfather owns, and I have a house there that's just mine. Nobody else is there, and we can go there. I promise you, no one will know who you are. They've arrived at the farm, like they just arrived. And so I think that some cute time will happen, and that they'll start to like fall for each other like openly. And I can't wait to see that unfold. That's where we are. I'm gonna read this for a little bit, or maybe I'll listen to it. Again, I'm not feeling the best today, and I just want to lounge around. And I think that I'll finish this fairly quickly, and then I will be done with Ray's picks.
Crazy. Definitely blur that. Okay, so we've come to the end of this ride where Ray chose my TBR, and let's talk about what I read. I'll start with Girl Gone Viral because I haven't done an update for this. So I think at the end of this, I'm gonna go with a solid 3 stars. Third act breakup that we expect to happen in a romance was much better than I anticipated. I was expecting, you know, this big blowout where there's miscommunication and people just don't talk, and that didn't happen. Now, I will say that throughout this whole thing, Katrina was a lackluster main character for me. I wish that she would have been a little bit more assertive in her approach to things, but I understand why she wasn't, and that's okay. But I also don't think that Alicia Rye is the author for me, because I don't remember the name of the other one. The Right Swipe. The Right Swipe in this one Both of them were just okay reads for me. I didn't feel very connected to either of the characters. I will say that I enjoyed this. This is my first bodyguard read, and I enjoyed the, you know, the protectiveness of Jazz and all of that. But overall, it was okay. I read it. It was fine. Nothing wowing. I will say that compared to the other book where I did not care about the other two people's backstories, but I cared more about their romance, in this one I cared less about their romance and more about the backstory. Katrina's backstory, because it was just so scattered that you were just like, what the fuck is happening? Why are you like this? I prefer to have all of the information up front and know what's happening with her. And Jazz, I was more intrigued, but I feel like I was kind of let down because I don't know, I just felt like I didn't get enough of his backstory, or enough that would make me want to care about his backstory. But again, I was still more interested in their backstories than I was in their actual romance. But I did enjoy their romance because it seemed sweet. You could really tell that they cared about each other. And that is that. 3 stars. And a book read. We've got Upon a Burning Throne by Ashok K. Bankor. I think I'm giving this 4.25 stars. That's where I'm landing on this. It was quite an epic story. Jarshan, a fun villain. He was a fun time, but I can't wait to read the next book because I think that maybe he'll be a little defeated. We don't know. I don't know. Well, that was fun. My battery died, just like a lot of people died in this book. She also picked Black Girls Must Die, Exhausted. I gave this 3.25 stars. The 0.25 is because I'm interested in something that happens at the very, very end that makes me need to know what's going to happen in the second book. So I will be picking up the second book. In this one, we're just following Tabitha as she's going through a slew of misfortunes. She finds out that her egg count is low, almost non-existent, and so she has to decide relatively soon whether she wants to freeze her eggs, start a family immediately, or just forego the opportunity to be a mother, which she doesn't want to do at all. But on top of that, she is trying to maintain a relationship with someone who is not ready to have children. And she's also trying to get to a spot in her career where there's room for more growth, more money, more stability. And she would like to have all of those things in order before she decides to bring a child into the world. And I can resonate with that. You're kind of deciding, like, do I start a family? Do I just not? Dating sucks, and so I get a lot of that. However, Tabby was kind of an annoying character. The decisions that she made were not the best. Her reactions to things also not the best. In terms of like this book overall, it just didn't do it for me. Everyone kind of sucked, mostly Tabby and her decisions. I was a little exhausted from reading this. And then my last thing that Ray picked for me was Babel by Arf Kwong. And I will say, this is the one that disappointed me the most. And I'm mostly disappointed in myself, unless the book. I ended up DNFing this after I was harassed to DNF it. I was almost bullied into DNFing this because I did not want to do it on my own, but Ray almost bullied me, guys. But I just was not having a good time with Babel, and I wanted to love it so much. I loved the Poppy War trilogy. I really enjoyed Yellow Face, and this one just didn't quite land for me. We're following Robin as he enters this the Royal Institute of Translation, where they use magic silver bars where you translate from one language to another, and the magic lies within that. And I just was a little bored overall. I did not like Robin as a character, which, now that I'm thinking about it, the characters that I was reading from, not it. So yeah, I didn't enjoy Robin as a character. I didn't enjoy any of his other friends. Maybe like 2 of them I was interested in, but we didn't get much of them in the part that I read. Makes me sad. I'm gonna keep this though because she's pretty and I like it. And then Ray and I were buddy reading Family Lore, which I am giving a 3 overall because this was Elizabeth Acevedo's first adult works. I wasn't expecting it to be anything like her YA work because why would I? I love a generational story. You have the storyline going with the four sisters who grew up in the Dominican Republic, so they have a very different life than their daughters that grew up in the US. And I loved seeing the dynamic between the two and how each generation of women were trying to change something from the previous generation. And they were thinking that they were being progressive, even though the generation behind them may not have thought so. I think it felt just a little too long and a little too disconnected, and it took me a little too long to kind of figure things out, put it together. I will definitely be reading whatever she writes next, but I just don't think that this particular one landed for me. 3 stars, it may be a generous 3 stars if I'm being honest. I was talking with Ray and she really told me that everything she chose for me was because she really just wanted to know my reactions on things, not because she thought I would love them or hate them, but just because she was curious how I would feel about them. And I think that she got those reactions from me. It was a time for sure. Will I ever let Ray pick my TBR again? Yes, of course, because she picked it for me the first time and did a fantastic job. While I didn't have any like great loves in this group of books that I read this time around, I still am glad that I read them because I don't think that I would have picked them up on my own. And with that being said, that's all I've got for you guys today. Have you read any of these books? Did you love them even though I may not have? What have you guys been reading lately that you are also unsure about, on the fence with? Let me know. Let's talk about it down in the comments. And until next time, bye.